All right, welcome to another Kaleido website review. And this week we are looking at a custom home builder. And I love these kind of sites because they have just such stunning imagery and photography if they're done well. And so we picked out one that just has some incredible visuals, but we want to look at it, as we always do, from a little bit of a lead generation perspective to make sure that a beautiful website actually works beautifully and generates leads. Hi, I'm Bill Rice, one of the team members here at Kaleido. We're a digital agency that focuses specifically on lead generation online. And so each and every one of these website reviews we look through in order to strengthen these websites or show you examples of how you can strengthen your own website to actually produce leads and to become a part of your overall business objectives and revenue plan. So let's dive in. As always, I like to start with the checklist so you understand kind of how I go through a website, and this checklist is available to you below the video wherever you're viewing it for free. It's really kind of just three big chunks. I'm looking at the technology stack itself and the platform that the website's on and how it's built to make sure that that's following best practices and has all of the ability to perform well for the user experience, because all of the research from Google and all the statistics and testing that's been done, when a user gets a fast web experience, both on a desktop like I'm on here today, or the mobile phone, which this is the most important because this is where almost everyone is using the web, and some people have gone exclusively to the mobile phone and don't even have a home computer anymore. And so we're increasingly thinking about that. So we need speed, we need that technology to be right so that we get that performance factor out of there. And then we're looking at the site visitors, how we're getting the traffic, who they are, and what does that experience look like, and is it easy and is it clear for them to kind of get what they need, and hopefully the business is talking to them. I talk about this often as business owners, myself included. When we put out a website, a lot of times we feel like it's so important, or we have this kind of need to tell the client like how good we are and how much we can help you. But unfortunately, that doesn't talk to the user's need. We need to kind of start with their problem and show them that we have the capability to solve it. And first and foremost, that we actually understand the problem and that they may be struggling or challenged with a certain thing, and we know the answers. And then ultimately the last bucket there is conversion, and how to actually get the people that visit your website to actually engage with you, to reach out and give you a phone call, to email you, to fill out a contact form, but to start to engage and inquire with you about your services or product. And so that's our focus, and that's the checklist we go through. Again, you can download this and do it on your own website, or you can contact us again on this same page wherever you're viewing this, and we'll do a website review for you for free. Just a quick 15-minute video, just like the one you're seeing here, and we'd be happy to do that anytime. All right, so let's take a look at this week's property. This is Mosheri. Hopefully I pronounced that right. They're a luxury home builder from everything that I can gather, but I did have to dig a tiny bit to kind of figure out exactly what they do. You can see a couple things here. First and foremost, when I first loaded this slider actually didn't start kicking in. I actually had to kind of flip through it to get it to start, so there's probably something a little glitchy here. Generally, I don't like sliders for a couple different reasons. One, the person has to kind of sit here and see the full show to get all of the information. And so there's probably better ways to convey what they're looking to convey here. The other thing is we don't obstruct the incredible imagery, but by sort of strategically placing things in certain ways, we could probably tell our message along with the stunning imagery, right? And so I want to clearly, kind of the formula that I always encourage clients and our copywriters and designers to work within is right here at the beginning. I want to tell them what I do, and how I do it better than anyone else, or how going with me is going to make your life or your problem better, or make that problem go away. And then, of course, I want in some sort of mechanism to get that contact. And we'll talk about that in a second. I want to go through my checklist in order, though. Let's take a look first at the actual technology that this is sitting on. So there's a couple of things that I look for when I'm going through the technology stack to see whether or not the organization is thinking in a sophisticated way about their website. And really, from the technology, I can usually tell if this website is significant to their business objectives, if this website is actually significant to revenue because of a couple things they've set up or a couple of technology decisions they've made. So first and foremost, I love it when I see Google Analytics here because that means they've got at least the capability to track and understand what's happening on their website. And so they've got that. They also seem to have Tag Manager installed. Again, that's a little bit more sophisticated. It's the right way to do it. So that's good. And then as we go down through here, we start to see some of these WordPress plugins. And this helps me to understand, here's that tag manager that I was looking for. This helps me to understand that, one, it is actually WordPress that this is on. So that's a good thing. It gives a lot of flexibility. You can design whatever you want. There's a lot of great WordPress designers and developers. And so you can sort of easily support whatever you have if you're doing it yourself. The couple of things that I note in here that we always suggest and we typically change with our clients. Auto Optimize is a great plugin for getting better performance, but it actually impacts performance when it's sort of left in. It has a tendency to conflict with other plugins, so we usually use it to help us optimize, and then we pull it back out. So having this running is not necessarily probably in the best interest of this website. So let's do a little page speed here just to kind of check. The other nice thing that we see here right off the bat is that this certificate does not look like that it's working properly. So it's giving me some warnings here. SSL certificate is super, super important. And in the future, I think actually currently Firefox will actually block this website if it doesn't have an SSL certificate that's valid. And certainly Chrome is going to do that in the future. Most websites will give you an alert that feels sort of disconcerting to people because Google and the web browsers want every single website to have an SSL certificate so that there can't be kind of any malicious activity. A lot of times websites can get taken over and that sort of thing. In this case, you see this HTTPS, so there is a certificate there, but there's something that's not quite configured right. Anyway, what I was trying to do is actually check on the web performance here. You can go to Google's Page Insight to do this for yourself. And again, this has Auto Optimizely in it, so it probably is going to perform fairly well. But again, could actually run into problems if it's kind of left in there. So let's see what we get here. And again, this is one of these technology stack things that I want to look at, is just kind of what's the performance of the website. Again, the slower a website is, the more likely the user is to leave, because now the user expectation for speed, especially on mobile phones, is super fast. And so okay, so on mobile, we're going to have some challenges. I would suggest that the reason that this is so low, and it's something that can be fixed, is, and you can see it right here, this is kind of the load life cycle. These images are probably never been optimized. And so they're probably at their full scale, whatever you took it on your digital SLR, and they're probably huge. And so, yeah, you can see that this is what's taking all the time, right? Your images, your off-screen images, the efficient of the images. So we need to fix those images would be my first case, and that will go a long way to giving you a better experience, because on the mobile phone, this sucker is going to take forever to load, and somebody's probably going to leave it just thinking that the website's broken. Again, not horrible, but same sort of thing. You start to fix those images and you're going to get a lot better performance here. So that would be my top suggestion for this, just for the tech stack and the user experience. As we go down through the home page here, again, I like the stunning images. Definitely want to emphasize that. There may be some interest in actually digging into some of these images. We're going to take a look at some of these properties, and they may have done that. But I would probably make these sort of categories and then allow people to dig in here, much like you would do on Zillow, and actually look at that category and see all the beautiful exteriors and interiors and that sort of thing, so that people could engage with this website and they'll actually dive in and go deeper down the rabbit hole, and that's going to give you multiple page views, which is again going to help your SEO and you to rank, because Google loves when people stay on your website and do multiple page views. So I would definitely do that with this area. This is strong. The about, again, more beautiful images. We definitely need to optimize these. Again, as we go into here, I think this will probably drill in, but I want to be able to do that way up here, right? I don't want to have to go all the way down here before I, as a user and a potential client, sort of just go down. I mean, real estate porn is just like a real thing. People just love to look at real estate and dream. And so for this particular, if this was our client, we would really focus on making that a reality. Just let people dig into the website, move through, and just dream until they become a client and inquire with us. I like this, family owned. That has a lot of resonance. I might take this to a secondary page so that I can actually get the contact. And so I would probably move this up. I would definitely make it a form. I might move this above some of the leadership, or even move the leadership over to its own page, because it's kind of two different sorts of people, or two different phases where they want to kind of know the people versus just kind of look at homes and get lost in the dream. So I might do that. I would probably slim down the things that are up here and make sure that I turn this contact block into its own thing, and it would have phone number and email address if you want direct email contacts, or a button that takes you to the lead form, the contact page. And then of course I would get a lead form on this. There's a way to just do that and make it beautiful along with everything else. So that, with the type of traffic that you're getting, which we're going to look at here in a second, I can guarantee you'll probably 3x to 10x the number of leads that are actually produced with this site, just simply by giving them the opportunity right here at the top to inquire with you. Going into the current listings, let's just take a look at a few of these pages. And again, I think we've got a theme here, so we're sort of doing the same thing over and over again. Once I dig into these, oh, actually this one just popped back to the home page, so that's not ideal. Let's see if I go down here. Okay, here's some current listings. We're actually linking directly off to realtor.com. Again, not necessarily horrible. I would probably want to tend towards keeping them on my site. There is a way to plug these listings directly into your site, and I would probably do that. Let's take a look at properties. Okay, so now we're digging into this. Again, we can't kind of go down the rabbit hole and see. I mean, my first reaction is I want to see the interiors. Like, these exteriors are incredible. I can only imagine what's inside, so I want to do that. Let me go down here and see if I can actually find the follow-on page. So development, this is talking about the what we do in development. Again, as we get into these interior pages, I'm probably going to take out this slider. I would probably want to do something different, lead with that development, have kind of a better treatment and more of these images to kind of show. I would definitely do some photo shoots and maybe some aerials with some drone footage, and try to get sort of development. In each of these stages, I would want to fill up these with actual examples. And again, we keep sort of kicking us back to the home page. So I can guarantee you this company probably has some more incredible images and video, so I would want to get that on here. I think it would go a long way to keeping people on the site, keeping them lost in it, dreaming big and reaching out. And again, we could tailor that to the right type of person that would be looking here. So depending on who your customer is, which I would think is very high scale, you actually lead them on a journey to show them the type of construction and development you do, and that will actually sort of sales qualify the lead that you get when they actually reach out and contact you, which right now is a little bit difficult to do. So I would want to build out some interior pages here, because that's going to help when we get to traffic. So your traffic is sort of relatively slow or low, but you've got a lot of backlinks, right? Because it's beautiful. The website is beautiful, and so you're going to have a lot of potential for SEO or search engine optimization and actually getting a lot of organic traffic. And it looks like this has been a little bit sort of haphazard. Sometimes you get a lot of organic traffic, and sometimes you get sort of less. And so we would want to steady this out and create a nice growth pattern there. As you would suspect, all of these are sort of branded terms, which is important because you probably get a lot of your business from referrals, and most businesses do. So you want to make sure that's solid. But then you quickly sort of want to start to branch out into some other sort of industry terms that'll bring in and introduce new people into your brand that are just looking for luxury home building and that sort of thing. The other thing that's really important, and you're starting to get a little of this down through here, is the localization part. So the local SEO is probably important because it looks like this is I kind of know this area. We're actually in Michigan, southeast Michigan, so it looks like most things are kind of done in the Oakland County, and so there's a lot of things that you could do to really build out and own luxury homes in Auburn Hills, or luxury homes in Oakland County, or luxury homes in Auburn Hills, and really start to kind of take over some of that local search and get some of your search volume, not just from your individual name, but from some more of these kind of localized terms like this. So let's just take a look at that as kind of our last thing. Again, looking for opportunities, luxury home builder. This may not be perfect. I mean, I haven't talked to, this is just, we pull these out randomly, so I don't really know their business. But let's just say luxury home builders in Rochester Hills. So as I look into here, obviously there are some ads being paid for, but we're not really in here, right? And I think that there's a lot of opportunity to get us into this block, which is where people will start their web search. Certainly ranking us up in here. We are actually on the first page. So this is great because we know that we've already told, Google thinks that we're the right person for this page. We're just too low, right? So we just have to do a couple things, build some interior pages, actually kind of build out this term in a more specific way, give it its own page, and this will come right back up to the top here. So you can kind of get it in here. Do a couple web reviews, which isn't hard, and we'll end up in this little block, and we'll get another free sort of entry in this. Let's take a look at Cranbrook here. This is an organization that we have worked with a little bit. And you can see, boy, slow here. They've got some of the same performance problems. But I was just trying to see, they've got the #1 position. It's always good to kind of see like why they might have the #1 position. They're not doing anything terribly different, but this is why they have that #1 position, right? Because they have some location information on their photos, probably even in the alt text in the photos. And so that location information is helping. I would actually love to optimize this site as well, not to drift into another site in the custom home builder space, but these are huge pictures and there's lots of white space. So there's a lot of optimization opportunity just to make it look better as you kind of move through this story. You don't want to kind of get stuck here because probably there would be an abandonment here because it's just so big. We would want to optimize this a little bit better. But they've done some smart things here with SEO, getting that location information here. Stunning photos, always important. Let's see what happens if we dig in here and see if they did the same thing. If you go in here, yeah, so it's got a specific location page. They kind of tell some, kind of how to sales center. I would definitely do some interior pictures, but this is probably a slightly better treatment of that user experience that what we kind of saw on our original site. So again, hopefully this has been helpful for you. You can always download our website review checklist and do this sort of activity on your own and sort of DIY how to optimize your website for better lead conversion. But we love doing these. If you want us to do yours for free, just submit on the form and I'll do one of these video and we'll ship it off to you so that you can kind of figure out what the next step is to make your website be a part of your revenue plan and your business objectives. So till next time, I'm Bill Rice. This is Kaleido. We're a digital agency focused on lead generation, and we'll see you on the next website review.